Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel Civil with Sudheer and myself Sudheer Jirobe. So today's class we are discussing the next questions on RCC subject on the chapter design of slabs. So we have already completed 9 classes. If you are first visitor, please click on the I button. You will get all the playlist of the RCC subject, right? And this is the second class of the design of slabs. We have already completed a few questions on design of slabs in previous class, and these are all our the social platforms. This is our Telegram channel Civil with Sudheer. You can visit or you can join. So link is given in the description box. You can join. And this is our Facebook page. You can join KPSC Civil AE Study Point. You can join this Facebook page also, where I will share all the information regarding exams or anything or job related, that one, right? So you can join this one also. And this is our YouTube channel Civil with Sudheer. Make sure you can click on the subscribe button and click on the bell icon also to get all the notification about the exams as well as about the civil engineering, right? Today's first question, last question we have completed up to 27th. Today's first question is 28. According to IS 456, slabs which span in two directions with corners held down are assumed to be divided in each direction into middle strips, edge strips, such that width of the middle strip is, right? What we can say that one? Okay, so this is a question what they are asking. As per according IS 456, slab spanning in two direction. For example, if the spanning in two direction means, you can see here, right, are considered as divided in each direction into middle strip, edge strip, as shown in the figure. You can see this is the end strip, right? This one also end strip, and this is a middle strip. Okay, so the edge strip or middle strip and end strip. So middle strip is 3/4 of the width. This one 3/4 of ly, right? So this is a ly. We can say this one is, okay, this one is ly. You can see here this is ly, right? Okay, I will write here this is ly, this is lx. So middle strip is 3/4 of the width and edge strip 1/8 of the width, right? So that point you have to remember from this sketch. So this is the edge strip, middle strip, edge strip. So this is the lx, 3/4 times of lx, and this is what, the lx by 8, that is 1/8 of that one. So this is for span ly. You have to remember like this. If the, see here you have two conditions. If the edges are at the two sides, right? So one side, two side. So this condition we have to take ly and lx like this. If it is like this in the second sketch, this is the first sketch and this is the second one. In second condition, what they are given, the results are at top and bottom, right? One condition, second condition. So then the value will be changes according to the situation of the diagram. You have to decide. So the answer for the question is 3/4 of the width of the slab. Next question, question number 30. Okay, question number 30. Let me tell you. Okay, question number 29, I think I have skipped. Okay, don't worry. So design of two-way slab simply supported on edges having no provision to prevent the corners from lifting is made by. So design of two-way slab simply supported on edges having no provision to prevent the corners from the lifting. How we can say that one? So that is by what? So here you can see this is a type of slab and this is a method of analysis. So I will make one line here. You can see like this. Okay, so you will be get clear idea what I want to tell you, that this one, right? Okay, 1 minute, right? Okay, Yes, now you have to, I think you are getting divided. So now types of two-way slab. Types of two-way slab, method of analysis. Slab simply supported on four edges. For example, I am showing you top. Here one support, here one support, here one support. Slab simply supported on the four edges with corners not held down and carrying uniformly distributed load. And this one carrying uniformly distributed load. Then Grashof ranking method has to be used. Right. So next one, this is the first one. Slab simply supported on the four edges with corners held down and carrying UDL. Same condition but corners are held down. Piget methods, Marker's method, IS code method. So these are the methods used for the method of analysis. Slab with edges fixed or continuous and carrying UDL. So that for that you have to use the IS code method. So what is the answer for this question? That is the ranking Grashof formula. Next one, question number 31. A flat slab is supported. Where is the flat slab is supported? Can anyone tell me? Either on the beams or on the columns or on both beams and columns or on columns monolithically built with the slab. I think you have already seen what is flat slab, right? So what is a flat slab? You can see that, for example, this is a slab, right? And you can see like this. Okay, either it may be like this or sometimes it may be closed like this. Okay, so this is what? This is column and this is what? This is beam, sorry, this is slab and this is flat slab. So all these three, column, flat slab and this slab or beam, so they have monolithically built with the slab. Monolithical means at the same time they will be casted on the site. So answer for this question is 31 is D. Okay, next question. So it is typical construction in which reinforced slab is built monolithically with the supporting columns. Next one. Question number 32. Enlarged head of supporting column of a flat slab is technically known as. Enlarged head means which one? Let me show you. You can see. So enlarged head of supporting column of a flat slab is known as capital or column head. Which one they are asking? This one, right? So they are asking this enlarged view from here to here, right? From this point to this point they are asking. What actually they will call this one? So this is called capital head, enlarged head of the supporting column. So this is D by 2, critical section for shear, this one, critical section for shear, and this is a supporting column and this is the flat slab, right? So this is continuously flat slab without drop panel and column with column head, the column head is increase rigidity of the slab and resistance to shear. Column head is what? It will increase the resistance. Okay, so the critical section for shear shall be at a distance of D by 2 from the periphery of the column or capital or drop panel. You can see here, right? So this is the critical section for the shear, perpendicular to the plane of the slab where D is the effective depth of the section. So you have to remember these 2 points, that is this one is capital head, supporting column and critical section for the shear. Okay, ready? Right. We'll move to the next question. Thickened part of the flat slab over its supporting column is technically known as. Thickened part of the flat slab over its supporting column. What is that one? Let me show you. So that, okay. 1 minute. I think it is not, if it is not visible, I will draw here. Don't worry. So drop panel means it is a thickness. 1 minute. Okay. So it is a thickened part of the flat slab over its supporting column. That we call it as an drop panel. So drop panel increases shear strength of the flat slab, increases negative movement capacity of the slab, and stiffen the slab and hence reduce the deflection. Okay, if it is not visible, I will draw here, don't worry, This is the online. Okay, here it will look like this. Okay, like this, and this one. Okay, so this will be continuous. Here also continuous, here also continuous. So this is a this one is drop panel. This one is drop panel. What this one is column. This is what? This is column, and you can take this. This is what? The section, critical section for shear. Critical section for shear. What is that one? That is d by 2. Okay, so this is what? Flat slab. This is flat slab. I think you got the idea what is drop panel, capital, column head, and all of this. Next question. Question number 34. The diameter of the column head support a flat slab is generally kept. Diameter of the column. What we call it as, that is the diameter of the column. Column head is used to reduce what? Punching shear. First of all, remember, column head is reduced to what? Used to reduce the punching shear in the slab. So as per recommendation of the diameter of the column head, it is kept 0.25 times of the length, right? That is the length of the larger span. L is the length of the larger span. By seeing this sketch, we can say that, so this 0.25 L, so this is a flat slab, capital head, this is 90 degree, and this is column. So minimum effective flat slab thickness is taken as 125. Okay, so you have to remember what? So 0.25 times the span length. 0.25 times the span length is the answer for the given question. Diameter of the column head support flat slab is generally kept 0.25 times the span length. Okay, next question. Question number 35. The effective width of the column strip of a flat slab is taken as. Effective width of a column strip of a flat slab is taken as what? That is the half the width of the panel. Half the width of the panel. You have to remember this one, right? Direct questions. These are all direct questions. Question number 36. Breadth of a ribbed slab containing 2 bars must be between. Breadth of a ribbed slab containing what? 2 bars must be between. How much? That is, always remember, the breadth of ribbed slab containing 2 bars must be between 8 cm to 10 cm. Maximum diameter used for the ribbed slab is 22 mm. Maximum permissible size of aggregate for casting the ribbed slab is 10 mm. Right? I will write here. You can use 8 cm to 10 cm bar. This is one point. Second point, maximum size of dia 22 mm. Maximum permissible size of aggregate size 10 mm. So the thickness of the flange of T-beam of a ribbed slab is assumed as thickness of the concrete topping. So this one you have to remember. So answer for the given question is 8 cm to 10 cm. Next question. For a circular slab carrying a uniformly distributed load, ratio of maximum negative to maximum positive radial movement. First of all, understand how to calculate radial movement means. So this is a circular slab. So this is the condition they have given, what? UDL, that is the maximum negative and maximum positive radial movement. So this is the UDL, W with both ends are fixed, right? So this is what? Oh, this is the shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. You can see WR square by 16. So these are the two diagrams. Now circular slab fixed at the edges according to UDL. So radial movement distribution MR is equal to W by 16 r square minus 3r square. Circumferential moment, it is m theta w by 16 r square minus r square, that is capital R square minus small r square. Maximum positive radial moment at center, wr square by 16. Maximum negative radial moment is at edge, 2 by 16. You can see in the sketches, you can see here. So this is 2 by 16 and this is WL square by 16. Ratio of maximum negative and maximum positive radial moment, 2 WR square by 16 by 16 WR square, that is the 2. Okay, so 2 is the answer for the given question. You have to remember what this first of all the concept and these formulas, right? These formulas you have to remember, right? Next question. Question number 38. If W is the total load per unit area on a panel D, on a panel what? On a panel D is the diameter of the column head, L is the span in two direction, then the sum of the maximum what? Positive bending moment and average of the negative bending moment for design span of square flat slab should not be less than, right? How can you write that one? That is the what we can say W L by 10 L minus 2D by 3 whole square. We can say that is only third is the correct answer for this question. W is the total load, W total load on a panel. D is what? The dia, right? Column head L, column head L is the span in two direction, span. Then the sum of maximum positive bending moment and average negative bending moment, average negative bending moment for design of span of square flat slab should not be less than. So you have to remember this formula, WL by 10 L minus 2D by 3 into whole square. Okay, next one. Question number 39. Effective span of a simply supported slab is, effective span of a simply supported slab. How will calculate simply supported slab? See, first of all remember, right, this is a simply supported beam, simply, okay, let me write the simply supported beam, simply supported beam or simply supported slab. Now this is the effective depth and this is the clear span and this is the width of this support. Now effective span of simply supported slab, minimum value, that is the first case, this is the first case, you have to remember first, and this is second. Clear span plus effective depth. What is the clear span? L0 plus effective depth, that is D. Clear span plus width of the support, L0 plus B, right? L0 plus D or L0 plus B, you have to remember. So L effective is equal to L0 plus B by 2 plus B by 2, whichever is less. D is the effective cover, B is the width of the support, L0 is clear span, L effective is the effective span. So you have to take minimum value from this one, right? This is about the simply supported. If they given for the continuous beam or a slab, if they given for continuous beam or a slab, then in that condition, again in continuous beam we have two cases, case 1 and case 2. In first case, when width of the support, right, that is L by 12 into clear span. So in that condition, or 1 by 12 into clear span or L by 12, it should be less than or equal to, then effective span is equal to minimum of clear span plus effective depth plus clear span plus the support width, right? That is a support width, width of the support. This is about the case 1. In case 2, when width of the support is more than L by 12 or LC or 600 mm, whichever is less. So for end span, this is the end span, this is end span, with one end fixed, other end continuous, or for intermediate span, L effective is equal to L0, right? That is the width of the support or clear span. For end span with one end and freely supported, simply support and other continuous, then L plus D by 2 or L plus A by 2. We have to take minimum value of this one, effective depth by 2 or what, the support width by 2, right? For beam 1 and 2, L effective is L0, and for beam 3, right, that is a L effective beam 1 here you can see in the sketch 1, 2 and 3. For beam 3 this value has to be used. Okay, so you have to remember the continuous slab. They may ask the any type of question from the either simply supported or continuous beam. Okay, so you have to remember this one, right? So the answer for this question is what? That is the clear span plus effective depth of the slab. Next question. Question number 40. Maximum ratio of span to depth ratio of a slab simply supported and spanning in two direction. Right? They are asking for simply supported. I think you have remembered already and you have done already in previous classes also. Maximum ratio of span to depth ratio of a slab on end spanning in two direction is 35. Right? So 35 is the answer for the given question. Next question. For a continuous slab supported at the ends and carried over intermediate beams, right, and carried over intermediate beams, what has to be done? So maximum sagging bending moment for the end spans. To understand this one, let me first, you have to understand what actually they are telling. So this is the condition they are given. What? That is for continuous slab supported at ends, supported at ends, this support and this support. Okay, so supported at ends, carried over intermediate beams, carried over intermediate beams, these are the intermediate beams. Okay, I have given some ticks, you can see these are the intermediate beams. Now what they are telling, maximum sagging bending moment for the end spans. Sorry. So according to IS 456 2000 clause 22.5.1, bending moment coefficient for span moments and support moments near middle of the end span, at middle of the interior span, at support next to the end support, at other interior support, right? So this is for dead load and this is for live load, right? Plus 1 by 12, 1 by 16, minus 1 by 10, minus 1 by 12, 1 by 9, 1 by 9. So from the above table we can say that A, B and C are correct, right? From the above table we can say that option A, B, C are correct, because in the question what we can say, that is not given in the maximum moment for the live load and dead load. You can see maximum moment for the end span is WL square by 10. Maximum hogging bending moment over penultimate time, penultimate or P ultimate support is equal to minus WL square by 10. Maximum sagging bending moment for the interior span is WL square by 12. So all options are the correct for the given question, right? So all options are correct for the given question. Next question, right? So you can see in the sketches also they have written already, right? WL, this is by this 24, WL by 10 means you have two different what we can say, in every formula we have two possibilities. You can see here two possibilities you have already, so that we have to take and we have to make the formulas for that one. Okay, next one. In a slab, pitch of the main reinforcement should not exceed its effective depth. In a slab, the pitch of the main reinforcement, right? So what is the pitch of the main reinforcement? We can say that is in slab pitch reinforcement is what? It should not exceed 3 times. 3 into what? Effective depth. 3 times the effective depth. 3 into effective depth. 3 into effective depth. Okay. Next question. Question number 43. In a simply supported slab, alternate bars are curtailed. Right. So I think you have to understand what is curtailment, where the slabs will be, where the curtailment will be done in the slabs, Okay, we will do detail in this question only. We will goes very depth in this question. Okay, for simply supported slab, alternate bars are curtailment where. First of all, understand what you mean by curtailment. Curtailment is an what? Theoretical point where some of the reinforcement is cut off along the span of the beam, where the bending moment reduces given that the remaining reinforcement will be able to support the reduced bending moment. Right? So this is a point you have to remember. Now curtailment in the slab. Curtailment in the slab means when designing the reinforcement in a concrete slab, bars that is curtailed should be fixed and anchored past the point in which it is needed to support. Let me show you the diagram so that you can understand what actually I am telling you in a theoretical manner. You can understand in the practical one by seeing the sketches. Okay, I will show the sketches, don't worry. In order to find out the point where the bar is no longer needed to, the shear force and bending moment should be calculated. Right, this is about the curtailment. Why we require the curtailment theoretical part. Let me see. Curtailment bar for simply supported slab. Okay, so before going to this one, you have to see this one. Okay, please all of you visit, pause the video once and look at this sketch very carefully. What are the different dimensions they have given? Okay, you can take the screenshot and make your short notes. So you can see this is a sketch of simplified curtailment rule for the continuous beam. Okay, let me see the diagram so that we can understand easily. 1 minute. Okay, so this is actually, you can see there are different reinforcement. They may be confused. If you are seeing like this, it will be very confusing for you, right? Here also you can see lots of what 0.25L, 0.15L and 100%, all they have given. Okay, let me draw one more time so that you can understand easily the sketch, right? So actually, right, this is the 1 minute. So this is the what? Okay, this is the support. I will draw here also support. At the center again you have another support here, here, like this. You have one support at the middle and two supports at the end. Okay, and you can see there are lots of different diameters also, different bars also at the top and bottom. You can see at the bottom also there are different reinforcement, and at the top also. First of all, right, first of all you can see there is a main reinforcement. It is like this. Okay, main reinforcement, and at the bottom also this one is same. You can say I will draw here. This is the first one at the top and this is the second one at the bottom. Okay, now you can see after drawing this one, you have two different again reinforcement here, this one and this one, right? So you have two different reinforcement again. You can see like this, and this is embedded in the what? Support. This is embedded in the support here. You can see this is a LD length, this one and this one. So both are like this. So this is one separate length and this is the another length. I think you got now. In the same case for the opposite support also, right? For the opposite support also it is same. Now here you can see at the middle point again there are the two bars, one here on here on. So this is the 30% and this is a 0.15L. This one, this extension from here to here, from here to here, it is 0.15L2. So this is a L2 and this is a L1. Now this is 100% means 100% reinforcement they will use, and this is a 30%. You can see here another extra reinforcement they are provided. So now you can see LD is nothing but the development length. This is a 0.25 L, this one bar 1. I will show you. This is the bar 1, this is the bar 2, bar 1, bar 2, this is the second bar, and this is a main reinforcement that already provided here. So this is the third one. Consider this is third one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So 0.25 L1, 0.15 L1, and this one is 100%. So you have to remember all these things and see this sketch, and you have to remember the very important points by seeing this sketch. Okay. Next, simplified curtailment rule for the simply supported beam. This is for simply supported beam. Minimum 2 bars you have to provide here. How many? Minimum 2 bars. This is L, and at the bottom 0.08 L, this one, right? And this 50% and this is 100%. So this is a brick wall support, here also brick wall support, right? For the next simplified curtailment rule for the cantilever beam, LD is the development length, this one you have to calculate. So not less than the greater of 0.5 L or LD, this one. You can see here also one, this one and this one. There are 2 bars again you can see there are 2 bars. So these are all stirrups, don't worry about this one. So these are all main, this is 1, this is 2. So this dimension they are telling that you have to take how much? 0.5 L or LD, 0.5 L or LD, 0.5 L or LD, and this one at the bottom 0.25 AST, that is a subjected to minimum of 2 bars if not designed as a doubly reinforced section. Okay, so LD by 3, this one, this extension is L0 by 3. Okay, so 0.5 by AST, this one, this is the area, that is the AST is 0.5 by AST. Okay, this is about the cantilever beam. Next is typical details of slabs spanning in one direction simply supported, right? Slabs spanning in one direction, this is a support. Only slab is spanning in this direction, only 2 supports you have. In that condition you have to provide like this distribution bars. These are the distribution bars, these are distribution bars, and these are what? Distribution bars, and this is a main bar. Okay, and this is S is nothing but distance between the 2 distribution bars, and this is what we can say, this is a bent up bar, this is the bent up bar, So this is the effective depth or overall depth, these are the supports. Okay, so this is what we can say, this one, this length we can say that is what? S by 2 or 0.1 by L we have to take. Okay, and this one, last one, simplified rules for the curtailment of the bars continuous slab using bent up bars, right? So in the question what we can say, 1/7 of the span, that is a 0.15 L for the simply supported. So by seeing this sketch you can easily remember the rules for the curtailment of continuous slab using bent up bars. It is very easy. So you can see here one bent up bar, here second, this is the first bent up bar, and this is the second one, and this is the third bent up bar, you can see. So and these are the dimensions and with the size they are given, you can see here 0.15 L, right, 0.5 and 0.3 L, 0.3 L, 0.15, right, 0.L1. So these are all you have to remember. So this is a curtailment of continuous slab using straight bars. Using straight bars you have to remember. Please pause the video and take this diagram for your future reference. Okay, next question. The maximum diameter of the bar used in the ribbed slab is, maximum diameter what we have to use, that is according to the clause IS 456 30.5, minimum thickness of the rib shall not be less than 65 mm. So according to the clause 26.4, minimum nominal cover to the reinforcement is 20 mm, right? The maximum diameter of the bar used in the ribbed slab is 22 mm, right? So this is the nominal cover 20 mm, this is the depth, so this is a ribbed slab. So where is the ribbed slab is used? Ribbed slab is used where the vibration is more, where you are using the laboratories or gym. In that condition you have to use the ribbed slab. For example, this is the first floor, right, and this is the second floor. So if the gym is opening at the top, so you have to make sure this floor is rib slab. So this floor is rib slab to what? To resist the vibrations coming from the gym or any laboratory, right, any testing laboratory. So you have to construct with the rib slabs. Okay, so what is the answer for this question? That is a 22 mm is the answer for the given question. Question number 45. Circular slab subjected to external loading deflect to form, that is a semi-hemisphere, ellipsoid or paraboloid or none of the above. See, when a circular slab is subjected to external loading, it defects in a shape of saucer or an paraboloid. I think you have done with saucer. If you in olden days we will take the tea in a saucer, right? So I think you have remembered. So in this this is a side view of saucer. When we see from the top, it will look like only circular one. So central axis, this is a central axis. Paraboloid is a surface that has a exactly one axis. It is symmetry and no center of symmetry. They term paraboloid derived from the parabola. Okay, so answer for the given question is paraboloid. Next question. If the diameter of the main reinforcement in a slab is 16 mm, if the diameter of the main reinforcement in slab is 16 mm, the concrete cover to main bars, the concrete cover to main bars is what? The concrete cover to main bar, how you have to find out? That is, you can see in nominal concrete cover should not be less than diameter of the bar, that is 16 mm diameter of the main reinforcement provided, right? So it should not be less than what? 16 mm. You can see there are different conditions: mild, exposure, mild, moderate, severe, very severe and extreme. So these are the different conditions with the minimum grade and nominal cover and allowable allowance permitted. So you have to remember this whole tabular column for the future reference if they ask the question on this the same topic. Okay, so next question, question number 47. Long and short span of two-way slab are Ly by Lx and load on the slab acting on the strip parallel to Lx and Ly. B. Wx and Wy respectively according to Rankine-Grasif theory. Right. So according to Rankine-Grasif theory, already I have explained in previous few questions back only. This question already repeated. What we can say, that is the Wx by Wy equals to Ly by Lx is to 4. Okay, so this is the answer for the given question. Next, question number 48. Thickness of the slab and the beam must be measured to the nearest. Thickness of the slab and beam must be measured to the, what is the nearest? That is the thickness of the beam and slab measured nearest to the 0.001 meter, 0.01 meter. Okay, you have some notes you can take. All work shall be measured subjected to the following tolerance, that is the linear measurement shall be measured to the nearest 0.01 meter. Area shall be measured to the nearest. See, if linear measurement means length, if they are taking length 0.01 meter, if the area is measuring, this is a common question they may ask, 0.01 what meter square. If cubic content shall be measured, work out. So this is what we can say, cubic content means meter cube, that is a 0.01 meter cube. Meter square, meter cube. 0.01, 0.0 meter square, 0.01 meter cube. So you have to remember these values so that you can answer easily. Okay, so the thickness of the topping of ribbed slab varies between, repeated question, again this is a question repeated. So what is the slab thickness? So this is a ribbed span system, special type of grid floor slab system in which slab called topping, you can see thickness of the flange, topping, thickness of the topping should be 5 centimeter to 10 centimeter. This is a slab, right? We can say that is an thickness of the topping, concrete topping. So main reinforcement is 22 mm, right? So breadth of the rib slab is 8 centimeter to 10 centimeter for 2 bars. You have, if you are provided 2 bars, that is the 8 centimeter to 10 centimeter. Spacing of these rib slab is should not be more than 1.5 meter, right? So these are all the values you have to remember. So thickness is 54 mm to what, 80 to 100, depth of is 3 to 4 times the thickness of the beam. Okay, so you have to remember all these points about the rib span system. This is a question, this may ask the question on KPSC because this is not repeated so many times, question is not repeated. Next question, the effective width of the column strip of a flat slab that is taken into consideration is what? Taken into consideration, what we can say that one, that is the half the width of the panel. Effective width of the column strip of a flat slab that is taken into consideration is half the width of the panel. Next question, if W is the uniformly distributed load on a circular slab of radius r is fixed at its ends, the maximum positive radial movement at its center is, right? They are asking what? They are asking the radial movement, they are asking the positive radial movement at its center. So what is the value, what is the formula for that one? In previous question only we have already discussed, that is a WR square by 16 is the answer for the given question, that is a only 3, right? Okay, I think it is repeated 2 times. Okay, no problem. Next question, question number 52, for a ribbed slab, again the ribbed slab, see ribbed slab is in trending because they are very new, but flat slab also nowadays they are trending, ribbed and flat slab according to the condition they are using now in different what we can say in multiplex or malls. Nowadays they are using the flat slabs, right? So for the ribbed slab, what they are asking, clear span between the ribs shall not be greater than 45 centimeter. This one is correct, right? This one is correct or not? This one is not correct. So width of the rib shall not be less than 7.5 centimeter. Overall depth of the slab shall not exceed 4 times the breadth of the rib. This is a correct, right? So all options are not correct, only the C is a correct answer for the given question, because just we now only discuss ribs are provided lighter and stiffer. So according to the IS 456, 65 mm wide, these are the 65 mm wide and 1.5 meter apart. So their depth excluding any topping shall not be more than the 4 times the width. Okay, you have to remember these points. Next question, if the length of the intermediate span of a continuous slab is 5 meter, the length of the end of the span is kept what? Right? So what we have to keep, that is the length of a intermediate span is slab is 5 meter, the length of end span is kept. Length of end span, what we can say, that is an 4.5 meter, right? So 4.5 meter is the answer for the given question. Next question, the maximum ratio of span to depth ratio of a cantilever slab. What is the span to depth ratio of a cantilever slab? For cantilever, right, for cantilever it is 7, for simply supported 20, for continuous it is 26. So in the question they have given which one? They have given cantilever. So the answer for the given question is 7. We can say these are all are what? Span to depth ratio. Right? If they given direct value also you have to remember the conditions. In reverse also you have to remember like this. If they given span to depth ratio is 20, which type of beam this one? You have to answer the simply supported. If they ask reverse question also you have to remember that one. Next question. The amount of reinforcement for main bars in slab is based upon amount of reinforcement in main bars in slab is based upon what? Maximum bending moment. Always remember it is on the maximum bending moment. So the slab amount of reinforcement that is required to provide is what? On the basis of maximum bending moment in the slab, right? So minimum bending moment it will become insufficient at the sections where bending moment exceeds minimum bending moment and slab will fail in flexure. So that's why we will take maximum bending moment only. We will not take minimum one. Okay. Next question. Question number 56. If W is the load on the circular slab, radius R, maximum radial moment at the center of the slab. I think again repeated question. Same question it is repeated. Okay. Same question it is repeated. That is the third one. 3WR square divided by 16. So the answer for the given question is 3 only. Next question. Question number 57. The maximum permissible size of the aggregate to be used in casting the ribs of the slab, right? So ribs of the slab just now only we have discussed from 7.5 to 10 mm size aggregate we have to use rib slab. So the answer for the given question is we can say both B and C. We can take any one because they have given both option. So according to the clause which one? IS 456 2000 IS 456 2000 clause 5.3.3 5.3.3 what they have given. So according to the clause 5.3.3 of IS 456, nominal maximum size of the course aggregate should be larger as possible within the limit specified, but in no case greater than 1/4 of the minimum thickness of the member. Right? The concrete can be placed without difficulty and file the covers of the form. In concrete elements with thin section, closely spaced reinforcement or smaller cover consideration should be given to the use of 10 mm nominal maximum size. Right? So the answer for the given question is B and C. Next question. Which of the following is the minimum thickness of flat slab that is taken into consideration? Right? Which of the following is the minimum thickness of flat slab that is taken into consideration? Which one we have to consider for this one? So L by 32 for the end panels without drops, right? And L by 36 for the end panels without drops. Okay, so these two are correct answers. Or 13 centimeters. Okay, 1 minute. L by 32. Okay, this is not correct. Only L by 32 for end panels without drops and 13 centimeter. Okay, so you have to remember these values. 12.5 centimeter, 13 centimeter. Okay, that is the minimum thickness of the flat slab. L by 32 for the end panels, L by 36 for the end panels without drop. You have to remember with drop or without drop, this one. Right, so this is the drop, we can say this is the drop. Without drop means it will like this. Okay, so you have to remember these two conditions with these values. Next question. A ribbed slab is provided for which of the following? A ribbed slab is provided for which of the following? Right, so ribbed slab is provided where plain ceiling, thermal insulation or acoustic insulation. So for all options we have to install the ribbed slabs. Okay, if you want you can once go through this advantage of ribbed slab and baffle slab, you will get the idea about all those things. Okay, so these are some disadvantage of not suitable where the live loads are huge as heavy manufacturing buildings, warehouses. So thickness of slab is controlled as a requirement of fire resistance. Requires special formwork, hence formwork cost is high. So this is a important point, you have to remember this. Formwork is very difficult for this type of construction. So this is a beam, shrinkage, and these are the ribs, topping slab. These are the topping slab at this point, right? So this is an enlarged portion, you can see. This is a hollow block, and these are the what, ribs at the bottom, bottom also. Okay. Next question. The percentage of minimum reinforcement should be of the gross sectional area in slab is. Percentage of minimum reinforcement in the slab, that is the gross sectional area, is what? That is the, since the grade of steel is not mentioned, so for Fe 250 for 250 Fe 250, how much we can say? 0.0015 for 4 on 5, 0.0012, we can say this is 15%, sorry, this is 0.15% or 0.12%. Okay, so this one we can say for the mild steel, this is for HYSD. So the answer for this question is what? B or C. Okay. Next question. If the maximum bending moment of a simply supported slab is m kg per centimeter, the effective depth of the slab is. Okay, so it is given in that Q is MR factor. Q is what? MR factor. How will do? Let me tell you. Moment of resistance is M is equal to what? Q is equal to D square. And Q is a moment resisting factor, M is a moment resistance, D is the effective depth, right? So M is equal to Q D square, M by 10 into 10 kg per centimeter, that is Q D square. D is equal to root of M by 100 Q into kg per centimeter, and M by 10 root of Q, right? So the answer for the given question is what? M divided by 10 root Q. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. Thank you and all. Okay, so in the who all are seeing this video up to here, I would like to say thank you for all of you watching this video. Please like, comment and share, and do subscribe our channel. And this is our next chapter. We are going to cover the design of columns, right? The questions we are upcoming video will cover the design of columns. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. Please make sure that you have joined our Telegram channel, Civil with Sudheer. Thank you and all. Have a nice day. Jai Hind.